G'day guys, welcome to another What's for Dinner. We're an Aussie family of 4 with a 2-year-old and a 3-month-old baby. So each night we film our dinner. As you can tell, Dave tends to do most of the cooking and then we upload the 7 meals. Alrighty, let's get into it. So the first meal we're going to have is lamb chops and this packet of Coles kale slaw kit. So using kale, and there's cabbage in there, and it comes with the dressing. So you just add the dressing in and mix it all around together. Dave heads over to the stove, puts a little bit of oil in the pan and then puts in the lamb chops. These chops are quite big, so he's just doing 2 at a time. This was a really juicy lamb. That was the first time that I've had a kale slaw and it was really quite nice, but I didn't have too much of it just because of the cabbage because I'm breastfeeding. The next meal we're having is a simple Panang curry, so using some rump steak, an onion, light coconut milk, and then these Chinese veggies that are fantastic value that we just keep in the freezer so that we can, whip up a stir fry or a curry whenever we need to. So Dave likes to slice up the onion into nice fine slices. The Chinese mix had a little bit of onion in it as well, but we added a little bit more. After removing the excess fat from the beef, he then sliced up the beef. He puts in roughly a teaspoon of olive oil into the wok and then puts in this Panang paste. We haven't used this paste before, so we just took it really easy. It said on the back of the jar to do half a cup. We started off with a heaped tablespoon and then tried it as we went. Then he's adding in this can of light coconut milk. And then he got me to try it to see what it tastes like, and we added a little bit more of the paste just to give it more flavour. Then adding in the onions and the beef, giving that a stir and then letting it cook. Before adding in this value pack of stir fry veggies. Giving that a mix and waiting until all the vegetables are thawed before adding in a tablespoon of fish sauce and then roughly a teaspoon of brown sugar. And then letting that cook further. I tried it again here and we added a bit more of the paste until we got the flavour we wanted. Being Panang, it wasn't spicy, it was really delicious. And then serving with an Uncle Ben's rice mix. Next meal we're doing a spinach and ricotta tortellini with an eggplant and capsicum sauce. So first off, Dave's going to start off by chopping up the veggies. So he's going to start off with the capsicum and cut that into smallish pieces before then cutting the eggplant. For this dish we're going to be using 1 capsicum and 1 eggplant. Our daughter loves to be involved when we're cooking, so she's standing up in her learning stool there, which Dave actually DIY'd and I made a video of it, so I'll leave a link for that if you'd like to make one for your toddler. It's fantastic just being at that height at the bench in a nice safe structure instead of standing on a chair. Then finally chopping up this basil. With the basil and capsicum, it makes such a colourful dish. This recipe requires 1/4 cup of olive oil in the pan, heat that up. Once that is hot, then adding in the capsicum. Stirring that around before adding in roughly a teaspoon of crushed garlic and then cooking that. When it started to really soften and look like this, then add in the eggplant. Then Dave's adding in a cup of vegetable stock. We like to use the cubes and add the boiling water. And a can of whole tomato. And then giving that a really good mix. Here they are mixing together. That's very cute. He's bringing that up to a boil. Once it gets to a boil, then he's going to put a cover on it. We don't actually have a lid that goes with this frying pan, so just using another one. And it's going to simmer for 10 minutes. While this is going on, the tortellini is cooking in the pot behind it, adding in the basil, mixing that through together, and then putting all this paste in with the tortellini. You watch the world from the place beneath the willow, the willow. So many years, too many tears on your pillow, on your pillow. This is a really delicious and tasty vegetarian dish. Next, they're making pumpkin soup, so using 1 kilo of pumpkin. We've just got a butternut this time. Sometimes we do with the butternut and the Kent, but the butternut pumpkin's the only one we've got available. And then chopping up 2 onions, thinly sliced. Chopping up 2 carrots until they're diced, and then 3 sticks of celery until that's diced as well, and putting that all into that glass bowl, onion, carrots and celery. Whenever I'm off to find a sunset, a flavor of a memory, whenever all the stars above are shining. Next, he's going to prepare the pumpkin, so using that butternut, cutting off all the skin, scooping out the insides, and then chopping up into small cubes. Then I know I'll never be alone. Wherever all my wishes may be heading, a part of us will never leave. Oh, wherever in the world you may be hiding, in a while I know you're coming home. Tonight I know you will be coming. This is a delicious pumpkin soup. I've got the recipe for it in the description box for you, so you can copy and paste it and make it for your family. Over to the stove and putting in roughly a tablespoon of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds, as well as a pinch of cumin, and then adding in the celery, onions and carrot. Then letting that cook on low heat for 10 minutes until it's really soft. You will be coming home. Next, adding in the pumpkin and the vegetable stock, using 1 litre of vegetable stock, bringing that to a boil and then reducing it to simmer. Look, we let ours simmer for probably about 30 minutes. Whenever I'm off to find a sunset, until it is super soft. Then removing from the heat and using this hand stick blender, blending it up until it's pumpkin soup, and then serving with pepper. A flavor of a memory. So we all had the same favourite meal this week, and that would be the Panang curry. It was really popular with the rice and the broccoli. Our daughter is absolutely loving broccoli at the moment. This pumpkin soup did us 2 full meals. So the next night we had pumpkin soup with toast, and then the next night it was just before we were going to go to the grocery store, so we were just eating bits of this and bits of that. So we've got a hard-boiled egg, we've got some lettuce, bacon, carrots and tomatoes. just trying to use up what we already had before going to the grocery store. Thanks heaps for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.